standing up here. Oh, you ready? I was going up here to Henderson Hall, doing a service call, and I heard a jet coming at me and another fellow, and we turned, and it was coming no more than about 50 feet over the trees on top of the hill. Full-powered engines. Doesn't look like anything was wrong with that plane. I've flown a good bit, and it didn't look like anything was wrong with that plane. And it was like trajectory. He was aiming straight for the Pentagon. I mean, somewhere down there, whenever at first. And I had a clear shot, and I stood there and watched him. He flew that plane directly into the center of that building. And I never saw something like that. Never veered, wings didn't tip, didn't pull up. The thrusters were full. He had thrusters on full. I mean, he was coming over me, and the engines were so loud, I hit the ground. Because, you know, he had full thrusters. Just unbelievable. And, you know, all these people are down there. You know, you feel for everybody. You know, these people are just 1 second sitting at work and have that happen to them. It's unreal. Things are going to change. I guess we're not safe anymore.
The light. It's part of the plan, they believe.
Are you a CC Kringle?
Yeah, last name Kringle, C-R-A-N-G-L-E, on Marine Corps staff. You guys?
Marine Corps staff?
Should be handling the evidence.
Why doesn't somebody give that to a police officer?
It's just lying right here.
All right, we'll give it to a police officer.
Hey, evidence.
You should really leave it where it was. I need to try and find officer.
Don't touch anything. They've got people going around the way.
Equipment passing by from all directions. Right now, people are pulling over their cars to the side of the road. Of course, we do not know what happened to the Pentagon, but one of the airport authority police.
It was coming in, and I watched it come right in. And
What kind of plane was it?
American Airlines. It came streaking down and it hit short. It didn't go into the top of the Pentagon. It came like in short, and then everything sprayed up like a fireball sprayed up on the wall. I saw it right come out of the side of my eye first, and then it went right in front of me, went right past me. You know, like I said, the thing that shocked me the most and stays with me now is the severity of the intention. The idea of the angle at when it came in was coming like right in hard, you know, to hit the Pentagon. Now there's a lady who was behind me who said that she saw a plane. She saw a plane afterwards bow behind it, a prop plane which was right behind it, break off behind it.
What's obvious is over there is we have a section of the wheel, one of the wheels. There was a section in here that actually said American Airlines part number.
Alan Kilsheimer é um engenheiro de renome que viu os danos e posteriormente foi um dos primeiros a ver o interior do Pentágono.
When I walked around the corner, all hell was breaking loose. There was fire and smoke and water every place. When I got to what I call the impact area, it was pretty obvious that that's where the plane had entered.
A Universidade de Purdue criou uma animação computadorizada para mostrar os danos prováveis no interior do Pentágono, a qual coincide com o que este engenheiro viu ao entrar no edifício.
It blew out a bunch of columns, and then as it went through, the fuel exploded more and more. So there were all these explosions that went out from where the plane was. And that's why it was a big round hole, because the explosive forces made the round hole.
Foi por aqui que saiu o que restou do avião. Mas foi a força explosiva do combustível e não uma bomba que causou os danos.
I walked through the building and saw dead bodies, okay? Where were those people? These conspirators, they weren't there.
Uma das primeiras coisas que eu notei assim que cheguei ao local foi o cheiro a combustível de avião. Havia destroços por todo o lado.
It was like beautiful days I'd ever seen. I wonder how such evil could happen on such a beautiful day.
Holy
is as close as you can get to the base of the World Trade Center. You can see the firemen assembled here, the police officers, FBI agents. Towers, huge explosions now raining debris on all of us.
Poder ser sustentado pelas colunas. O relatório oficial sobre o colapso concluiu que, quando os aviões se embateram nas torres, danificaram as colunas de suporte e o revestimento contra incêndios. A Universidade de Purdue exemplificou como foram derramados 45 mil litros de combustível em inúmeros pisos, deflagrando fortes incêndios. A temperatura que chegou aos 1000 graus Celsius debilitou os pisos e as colunas.
The fires don't have to melt the steel in order to bring the building down. All they have to do is raise it high enough so that the strength of the steel is reduced to the point where failure takes place.
O aço derrete a cerca de 1500 graus Celsius, mas aos 600 graus perde metade da sua resistência. Os pisos acabaram por abater e as colunas em redor cederam, dando início ao colapso e causando estrondos semelhantes a explosões. De repente, o peso colossal dos pisos superiores, que haviam cedido, deixou de poder ser sustentado pelas colunas. E os pisos inferiores desabaram, causando as nuvens de fumo.
There's air inside, and as the building comes down, it creates very high pressures inside of the building itself that tries to break the glass out and so forth. And sure, you're going to get gas emitted from the
This is some of the only footage of the south face of the building, and it shows the whole side engulfed in smoke. Until now, most people have only seen the other sides, where there was much less obvious damage. Richard Rotans had to assess the damage to Tower 7, and crucially, he saw the south face just after the north tower had collapsed, slamming debris into it.
We're looking at the upper floors at Tower 7. You can see columns gone, floors collapsed, heavy smoke coming out, and fire. The upper floors were an inferno.
And then he had to go into that building to assess it.
You could hear the building creak above us. You could hear things fall. You could hear the fire burning. You could see columns just hanging from the upper floors, gaping holes in the floors up above us. There was an elevator car that was blown out of its shaft and it was down the hall. This is, the massive impact from the fall of Tower 1 onto Tower 7.
One photographer was able to get close to Building 7 because he was an honorary deputy chief in the fire department. These are some of his pictures.
You could see that part of the south part of the building was damaged heavily. There was a big hole in the building on the whole corner of the side of the building on the south side, and you could see part of the building is bowed out a little bit. It was, to me, that's major structural damage. And there's smoke on a lot of floors on the south side of the building. And I saw fire coming out some of these windows. And that, through my experience of taking fire photography for the last 30 years, to me, that's an indication of extremely heavy fire condition and a dangerous fire condition.
The architect, Richard Gage, is not impressed. He says the smoke on the south side may not be from Tower 7 at all.
This is indicative of a negative pressure which drew the smoke from the World Trade Center 6 or 5 that was burning quite severely. And there's no visible flames in any of that smoke. So it appears to not be coming from World Trade Center 7.
It was from number 7. The smoke was coming out of the building, not going from the opposite direction. That's insane. It was coming out of the windows. You see it on the video, you see it in the still pictures. There was heavy smoke, numerous floors had fire on it.
And Steve Spack filmed fires not just on the south side, but also on the other sides as the fires spread.
You see windows popping and falling. Boom, the window, the glass. And it's moving from window to window. And that's what fire does. It's going to travel. It was windy that day. I'm sure that fed the fire, that, the oxygen got in there. And that fire just took off.
Another fireman who was there that day is clear about what he witnessed.
We saw the fire and the smoke on the south side of Building 7. A lot of damage, a lot of damage. And the smoke, tremendous amount of smoke. I couldn't tell what floor it ended at.
And he also saw the east side of Tower 7.
The windows on approximately 10th to 15th floor of Building 7 started to fail from the heavy fire inside. We looked at it and said, there's so much fire in this building, nobody's going to put this fire out.
And after being told there was nothing more they could do to save Building 7, he walked away and witnessed its collapse.
We heard it sounded like a jet engine, and if we looked over the buildings, you could see the top of Building 7, and it just started to shake and then just disappeared down, and it was down in about 7 or 8 or 9 seconds. It was just gone. I saw the fire, I saw the damage, and that was good enough for me. I never heard any charges, I never heard any sequence of explosions, timed explosions, and I never heard anyone talk about that until a long time later.
World Trade Center. I didn't know it at the beginning, at the tape you're about to see. I didn't know it was the 7 World Trade Center, but I know it now coming back. A 4-block radius has been cordoned off because fire officials expect that building to collapse. I've been within 10 feet of that building within the last 15 minutes. I've been as close to where no one wants to be. Take a look. Like I have never been to war. And this is what it looks like. We don't know what that building is. We don't know where this building is, but they're obviously on fire. Maybe there's a chance that they could collapse.
Getting some word that another building there is extremely unstable at this point, and that there may be further building collapses. This would be Building 7 is what we're hearing.
That building's cooking up there. I mean, it's on whole floors, guys. Like the 20th, the 30th, the 40th. If it falls this way, everybody's in trouble.
We'll get everybody out of there, that's for sure.
We have no water, we have no pressure.
I'm being told that firefighters are pulling back from the scene.
The New York Mercantile Exchange there, they will be closed. And this has an effect worldwide. The London Stock Exchange evacuated its building, moved trading to another spot today. The Toronto Stock Exchange mid-morning ended trading. In Taiwan, they're half a day ahead of us, no business for tomorrow. And the German Exchange evacuated today because of a bomb scare. Also, from business news to boating news here in Manhattan.